Chosen one. You are stepping into a higher income season that has been quietly preparing itself around you long before you noticed the shift. It's not loud. It's not dramatic in the way movies make transformation look. It's subtle at first. A feeling, a tightening in your chest that isn't fear but anticipation. Like something is rearranging behind the scenes. Like doors you couldn't even see before are being measured, aligned, fitted for you. You've been walking through a stretch of life that felt slow, maybe even unfair at times. You worked, you waited, you questioned yourself in silence. But beneath all of that, something was calibrating. This isn't random. It isn't luck. It's timing, and you're starting to feel it. Before we go any further, stay with me until the very end of this message. There's something here that you need to hear fully, not halfway. And if as you listen you feel something resonate deep inside you, I want you to write your warmest wish in the comments and seal it with Amen. Not as a superstition, not as a routine, but as a declaration. Speak your wish clearly, feel it, let it be specific, because when intention is spoken with belief, it doesn't disappear into empty air, it moves, it shifts things. There is power in agreement, in collective faith, in the decision to say, yes, I receive this. Let this be the moment you stop whispering your desires in doubt and start affirming them with certainty. Now, breathe, because this higher income season isn't just about money. If you reduce it to numbers, you'll miss the depth of what's happening. Income is energy. It's value returning. It's alignment between who you are and what you receive. For a long time, there has been a gap between your effort and your reward. You felt it. You might not have said it out loud, but you knew it. You gave more than you got. You showed up when others didn't. You carried responsibilities that weren't even yours, and sometimes it felt like the world just kept taking. That gap is closing. You're entering a season where compensation begins to reflect capacity, where the weight you've carried turns into leverage, where skills you developed in obscurity suddenly become valuable in visible ways. And I know, part of you is cautious. You've been disappointed before. You've hoped before. You've told yourself, maybe, this is it. And then nothing changed. But this feels different, doesn't it? There's a steadiness to it. Not hype, not fantasy, just a grounded sense that something is turning in your favor. Higher income doesn't always arrive as a lottery win. Most of the time, it comes through clarity, through wrong decisions you were too afraid to make before, through opportunities that were always there, but you didn't feel ready for. And readiness is everything. Because when you step into a higher income season without inner growth, it collapses. But when you've been refined by delay, by frustration, by learning the hard way, you can hold it. You've been built to hold it. Think about who you were 5 years ago, even 3 years ago, the way you handled stress, the way you reacted to setbacks, the way you doubted yourself over small things. You're not that person anymore. Life stretched you. It humbled you. It forced you to confront parts of yourself you didn't even want to admit were there. And while it hurt, it strengthened you. That strength isn't just emotional. It's practical. It's strategic. It's the kind of maturity that attracts increase. This is what people don't understand about abundance. They think it's about chasing, about grinding endlessly, about proving worth through exhaustion. But real increase flows toward alignment. When your mindset shifts from survival to stewardship, everything changes. You stop asking, why don't I have more? And start asking, what am I ready to manage? That's a different energy entirely. And I feel like you're crossing that line now. There's a new seriousness in you, a quiet focus. You're less interested in drama, less distracted by opinions. You don't need applause the way you used to. You want stability, you want impact. You want to build something that lasts. That shift alone signals a new financial chapter, because higher income follows higher responsibility, and higher responsibility requires inner order. You've been cleaning up internally. Maybe you didn't call it that, but you've been letting go of excuses, of old narratives, of the belief that you're just unlucky, or not connected enough, or not from the right background. Those stories kept you small, and something inside you got tired of staying small. Higher income season also demands courage. Not reckless leaps, but calculated risk. It requires you to step toward rooms you once thought were above your level, to speak with authority instead of apology, to price your time according to its true worth. And that can feel uncomfortable, especially if you've been conditioned to shrink. But shrinking never created overflow. There are conversations coming your way that will test how much you believe in yourself. Offers that will reveal whether you see your own value clearly. Moments where you'll either default to old humility that borders on self-sabotage or stand firm in your growth. Notice those moments. That's why the title says notice. Because this season is subtle, it won't always announce itself. It will appear in choices. You may notice new ideas surfacing, business concepts, career pivots, investments in yourself that suddenly make sense. Courses, partnerships, moves that once felt too big now feel logical. Don't ignore that. Your intuition sharpens when you're aligned with increase. And you've been sharpening. There's also a purification happening. Some relationships might feel distant, not because you're better than anyone, but because your focus has shifted. When you decide to elevate your income, you inevitably elevate your standards. Time becomes more precious. Energy becomes more guarded. You can't afford constant negativity. You can't afford environments that drain ambition. That doesn't mean you become cold. It means you become intentional. And intentional people prosper differently. I want you to understand something deeply. Higher income season isn't about greed. It's about expansion, about having enough to breathe, enough to give, enough to plan beyond next month. You've lived in survival mode long enough to know the difference between excess and security. What you're moving toward isn't waste. It's freedom. Freedom to choose where you live. Freedom to rest without panic. Freedom to help someone without calculating the loss. That kind of income changes your posture. It straightens your back. It softens your anxiety. It allows you to think long-term. And long-term thinking is the language of wealth. Right now, there are habits forming in you that match this next level. Maybe you're tracking your finances more carefully. Maybe you're studying markets. Maybe you're refining a craft that once felt like a hobby. All of that matters. Seeds don't scream while they're underground. They develop quietly. Then one day, the surface breaks. Don't underestimate the underground phase you just survived. There were nights you questioned everything. Mornings you woke up tired of trying. Weeks where progress felt invisible. But invisible doesn't mean inactive. A lot was happening beneath the surface. Character, discipline, awareness. You were being prepared for capacity. And capacity is the real blessing. Because money without capacity creates chaos. But money with capacity creates legacy. You're not just meant to earn more. You're meant to handle more, to multiply more, to sustain more. That's a different calling entirely. I sense that some of you listening have been feeling a strange combination of pressure and excitement, like something big is close, but you don't know what it is yet. That tension, it's growth. It's the stretch before expansion. Don't retreat from it. Lean in. Start acting like the version of you who already earns at that higher level. Not in arrogance, in preparation. Organize your space. Upgrade your skills. Network intentionally. Speak about your goals without embarrassment. Increase response to clarity. And let's be honest, part of you is afraid that if you hope too much, you'll be disappointed again. That's human. I won't pretend that fear disappears overnight, but here's the shift. Instead of fearing disappointment, start fearing stagnation. Staying the same should scare you more than trying and failing. Because this season isn't about perfection. It's about progression. You will make mistakes. You will miscalculate at times, but you won't be stuck. That's the difference. Stagnation is breaking. Movement is beginning. And you're moving. Higher income season also refines your identity. You stop introducing yourself by your limitations. You stop defining your future by your past income brackets. You start seeing yourself as someone who builds, who scales, who negotiates, who creates value consistently. That identity shift alone unlocks doors. Doors that once felt sealed. Notice the subtle changes. People taking you more seriously. Invitations you didn't expect. Ideas landing with more weight. These are signs, not coincidences, but signs require awareness. If you're distracted by comparison or bitterness, you'll miss them. Stay aware, stay grounded, stay hungry but not desperate. There's a difference between hunger and desperation. Hunger is focused, desperation is scattered. Hunger plans, desperation grabs. In this season, you must move with hunger, calm, steady, determined hunger. You've waited long enough to understand patience. Now it's time to pair patience with action, not frantic action, strategic action, the kind that compounds. This is the moment where small improvements stack. A better routine, a smarter investment, a braver conversation. Over time, they shift your entire financial landscape. It won't all change overnight, but you'll look back months from now and realize the climb began here, right here. Chosen one, you are not entering this season by accident. You're entering it because you've outgrown the old one, and growth always demands expansion in one form or another. Financial expansion is simply the reflection of internal elevation. So notice the shifts, notice the opportunities, notice the courage rising in you. Because higher income isn't chasing you randomly. It's responding to who you've become, and who you've become is ready. Chosen one, this is the moment where everything you've been sensing stops feeling like imagination and starts feeling like movement. Not fantasy, not hype. Movement, real grounded, undeniable movement. The kind you don't have to convince yourself of. The kind that shows up in small confirmations first. A call, an idea that won't leave you alone. A door that opens just enough for you to see what's possible. You didn't fight through all those quiet battles just to stay in the same place. Look at yourself honestly. The discipline you've built. The way you think now. The way you pause before reacting. The way you calculate before deciding. You are not operating from impulse anymore. You're operating from awareness. That shift alone changes your financial future. Higher income isn't just money landing in your account. It's access. It's leverage. It's momentum. It's the ability to make one smart move that multiplies instead of drains. And the reason you're ready now is because you finally understand responsibility without resenting it. There was a time you wanted more, just to prove something, to silence critics, to feel validated. That energy was unstable. It would have collapsed under pressure. But now, you want more because you see what you can build with it. You see the stability it creates, the options it opens, the legacy it shapes. That's maturity, and maturity attracts increase. This season will test your consistency more than your talent. You already have talent. You already have potential. What this level requires is steadiness. Showing up even when the excitement fades. Managing money wisely even when you feel powerful. Staying humble even when you start winning. Because you will start winning. Not in a loud, chaotic way. In a structured way. In a way that feels earned. Like you can breathe without constantly checking your balance. Like you can plan 6 months ahead without anxiety creeping into your chest. You'll notice something else too. Your conversations will change. You'll start speaking about investments instead of expenses. About growth instead of survival. About scaling instead of scraping by. And the people who understand that language will gravitate toward you. Alignment brings alignment. But let me be clear. Higher income season doesn't remove effort. It refines it. You won't work less at first. You'll work smarter. You'll focus deeper. You'll cut distractions without guilt. You'll protect your energy like it's currency. Because it is. There will be moments where doubt tries to whisper, "Don't get too confident." Listen carefully. Confidence is not arrogance. Confidence is clarity. Arrogance ignores growth. Confidence builds on it. Stand in your growth. You've paid enough in lessons. You've invested enough in self-improvement. You've carried enough responsibility. to know you can handle more. The next level isn't out of reach, it's within discipline, and discipline is already in you. When money increases, character is revealed. That's the real test. Will you stay grounded? Will you stay generous? Will you stay strategic? I believe you will, because this season isn't built on impulse, it's built on evolution. You are evolving financially because you evolved mentally first. Notice how you're less reactive now, less emotional about temporary setbacks. That's strength. Strength creates stability. Stability creates expansion. Expansion creates overflow. And overflow changes everything. Imagine looking back 1 year from now, not fantasizing, imagining realistically. Your income has grown. Your confidence is solid. Your environment reflects order instead of chaos. You're not scrambling, you're leading. That version of you is not distant. It's forming right now through decisions you're making today, through boundaries you're setting, through habits you're choosing. This is not luck, it's alignment. Some people will say you got fortunate. They won't see the nights you studied, the risks you calculated, the fears you pushed through quietly. Let them misunderstand. You don't need applause. You need progress, and progress is happening. Chosen one, higher income season also requires one final shift. Ownership. Stop saying if. Start saying when. Stop saying maybe. Start saying I'm building. Words shape posture. Posture shapes action. Action shapes results. You are not waiting anymore. You are preparing. You are not hoping anymore. You are positioning. There's a calm authority rising in you. It's not loud. It doesn't beg for attention. It just knows. It knows you've outgrown scarcity thinking. It knows you're capable of managing more than you once believed. It knows that expansion is no longer intimidating. It's expected. Let that expectation settle in your bones. Let it change how you negotiate. Let it change how you plan. Let it change how you see yourself. You are not the person who struggled without growth. You are the person who struggled and transformed. That transformation is currency, and currency compounds. From this point forward, pay attention to what feels aligned and what feels forced. In this season, forced paths will close quickly. Aligned paths will gain traction naturally. Trust that flow, not blindly, but consciously. Move with intention, move with discipline, move with quiet certainty. And when the increase begins to show, because it will, don't panic. Don't sabotage it by thinking it's temporary. Receive it, manage it, multiply it. You are not stepping into a higher income season to impress the world. You are stepping into it to stabilize your life, to strengthen your future, to expand your influence responsibly. Chosen one, notice this. The version of you who once doubted is fading. The version of you who builds is emerging, and builders are always compensated differently than dreamers. You are no longer just dreaming, you are constructing. So stand steady, stay disciplined, stay aware. Higher income season is not a promise floating in the air. It's a response to who you've become, and who you've become is ready.